Okay, so horn 1 is a dead end. It just doesn't work. The skeptic then says, fine, then you have to pick the other option. So now let's see how the other side of this trap is built.
This is horn 2, and in this version, God isn't inventing morality, he's just recognizing it. It's like he looks to some standard of goodness that exists outside of him, and then he commands us to follow it. He's not the author of the moral law, he's just its most powerful cheerleader.
And for the Christian worldview, this option is just devastating. I mean, if there's a moral law that exists above God, then he isn't the ultimate being in the universe. He's not sovereign. Something else, this external standard of goodness, is actually superior to him. This basically demotes God from the creator of all things to just another being who has to follow a higher law.
So let's just step back for a second and look at the trap in its full glory. The skeptic has basically shown you two doors, and they're convinced that no matter which one you open, it leads to disaster for your faith.
This is their final move. They say you have to pick one. Either God is some kind of cosmic tyrant who just makes up baseless rules, or he's a well-behaved God who follows a moral law that's even greater than himself. And either way, the God of the Bible, the one who's all-powerful, totally sovereign, and perfectly good, seems to vanish.
But what if the entire setup is wrong? What if the premise of the question is flawed from the get-go? What if those two doors aren't the only ones in the room?
And that is the absolute crucial point. The Euthyphro dilemma is a false dilemma. It only works if you believe those two choices are the only choices. But the truth is, there's a third option, an option that solves the entire problem.
So what is this third way? How can we possibly escape both the problem of an arbitrary morality and the problem of a God who isn't even ultimate? How do we show that God isn't subject to a moral standard and he doesn't just invent it on a whim, but that he is the standard of goodness itself?
Well, that is exactly what we are going to unpack in part 2 of this explainer. We're going to dive into the powerful, philosophically rich, and scripturally solid answer that Christian thinkers have been offering for centuries. It's an answer that doesn't just get you out of the dilemma, it turns this whole challenge on its head and makes a powerful case for a God who is the very definition of goodness. You are not going to want to miss it.